first time since his £450,000 move from Hull to Oldham last month, and his new club come here in fine fettle, unbeaten and top of Division 2. Hull soon got over the nightmare of last Saturday's 7-goal thrashing at West Ham by eliminating Wolves from the Rumbelows Cup in midweek, and they're boosted today by the return after injury of newest signing David Hockaday. He's at right back. Barlow. Not a good ball, though, and it gives Hull the chance to come straight back with Bamber, and he's got around Barlow, and 2 Hull men are in the penalty area waiting for the cross. One of them is Payton, the side foot, saved by Hallworth. And Andy Payton will be disappointed not to have registered. Good chance this. Bamber showing nice footwork to get around Andy Barlow, and it's a precision cross as well, perfectly into the path of Payton, and the side foot couldn't beat Hallworth. Well, Doyle's worked himself out of that situation nicely and wins the free kick as well. Quickly taken. Swan is up there, and here is Bamber. Great chance for David Bamber. Well, David Bamber might well have got in there. He scored actually against Oldham Athletic last season in Stoke City colours, and I thought he was on for one then. Swan's height always unsettles the opposition, and he gets up well here, gets the flick on. Bamber taking it on the chest, the defender going with him, who was Jobson, and Hallworth just did enough. Well taken by Doyle. He's playing in a new role. Finnegan. And Hull have got 5 men up in front of Finnegan, and Palin desperately trying to join them. Here's Finnegan, and the shot is on target, straight at Hallworth. Well, Tony Finnegan hasn't scored a goal for 3.5 years. His last one was for Crystal Palace against Birmingham back in March 1987, but he's keen. And he opens the way for himself here, and he got a clear sighting on goal. Hallworth's been equal to everything so far, and he was again now. Good header from Holden. Kerry with a little back flick. Ian Hesford, who's been elevated to the captaincy here in the absence of Gareth Roberts. Swan goes through onto it. Peter Swan, it's a good chase by him. Not much strength in the cross, but it is a corner. It's a penalty. It's a penalty. Earl Barrett is judged to have handled Swan's cross. Well, that's a little bit astonishing. Earl Barrett will go across to speak to Brian Hill. The Oldham fans remonstrate. Swan cut the ball back and certainly came off Barrett, but was it a deliberate handball there? Well, the referee says it was. That's all that matters. And Lee Palin, who's taken over the responsibility for spot kicks here from Andy Payton, has the job of beating John Hallworth. This to give Hull City the lead against the league leaders. And it's 1-0 Hull City. Lee Palin, his 3rd of the season, a 2nd penalty success, and it's Hull 1, Oldham 0. Hallworth just dancing around on the line, well beaten. So Lee Palin scores a precious goal for Hull, and that's news that will be well received at Hillsborough as well this afternoon. Earl Barrett, the England under-21 international, very unhappy about it, but Joe Royle has instilled discipline into his side, and they don't protest over long, which is good to see. Doyle read it best of all, and he finds Payton. All of them have got a blue wall up in front of Payton of 4 men. Payton says has the confidence to go on and crack in his shot. No goal for Andy Payton that time, but it's good to see the confidence oozing from him. 4 Oldham defenders in front of him, and Payton decided there was nobody in a better position, so he thought, well, it was worth a go. Nice flick on. Swan inside the area. It's got to stretch here, and Hallworth off the line. Just coming, and Swan might have hurt himself there as he went in. He had to carry on his run. He managed to avoid the goalkeeper, and he's okay, I think. But Hull have looked much more dangerous, really, than Oldham. The three centre-backs employed by Hull City today, Shotton, Doyle and Buckley, have kept a pretty close check on Marshall and Molden. Although Marshall deflects the ball into the path of Holden now. Such a gangling, awkward player, Rick Holden. Here's a good cross towards Molden. Hesford had spotted it. Nice little flick from Bamber to Swan, who is all right. And there's plenty of men from Hull City up there. Palin to Finnegan. He opts for the high ball once more. Swan is under it. Gets, well, perhaps the better of Barrett because he waited behind him. Been an awkward afternoon for Earl Barrett so far. He's given a penalty away. He's talking a good game. And it looks as though he might be about to tug Peter Swan's shirt as well there. Swan still gets his header in. Bamber's in there as well. Marvellous save by Hallworth. That's as good a reaction save as you will see. The former Ipswich Town goalkeeper probably kept his side in it here. They could well have been 2 down. From the long throw-in, Peter Swan, who was unsettled them all afternoon with a back header, and Bamber there, and Hallworth with a superb reflex save. Well played, sir. So Hull a goal up, in as good a position as they could have wished to be against the league leaders. And Bamber has done a pretty good job up front for Hull today, alongside Peter Swan. They've certainly unsettled the Oldham central defenders. And they start the second half on the attack with Hockaday's throw inside the penalty area. It's going to come down here. Here's Andy Payton. He's going to make it 2. And what a perfect start to the second half for Hull City and their leading goal scorer. Andy Payton's 8th of the season. He was in the perfect position when it came to him. From Hockaday's throw, it was a simple enough header out of defence, it really was. But the ricochet there, as the ball was turned back in, fell kindly for Payton, and he certainly doesn't miss from there. Marvellous start to the second half, and Andy Payton, who's in good goal-scoring form at the moment, he got 2 in the last home match against Port Vale, has got a valuable one here against Oldham. Now Oldham. Barlow on his outside. Oh, it's not a bad ball as it turns out. Barlow's cross is good as well, and coming in was Adams. Came in behind Finnegan on his blind side, but he couldn't get it into the whole net. That's what matters. I thought Holden's ball wasn't going to find Barlow, but it did. And Barlow's cross was deep, penetrating, but Adams just couldn't get there to get a clear header on it. And Barlow takes it on. Adams has switched flanks to try his luck here, and he plays a good ball as well over to that far side to Kerry. Confronted by Finnegan. Kerry past him. Here's the cross. It's a goal as well. And it's Nick Henry who's got it for Oldham. And so, with just 11 minutes to go, Nick Henry brings Oldham back into it at a psychological good time. The ball was played in by Adams, who'd switched flanks for the first time since he came on as a substitute. And the neat footwork of David Kerry really opens the way here. He takes on Finnegan, one touch, and the ball missed there enabled Henry to come in and slot it past Hesford. And it's Nick Henry's first ever league goal. His only previous one was in the Littlewoods Cup last season against Arsenal. Hull need to keep possession for a while. Payton take the sting out of matters. Hockaday. Here's Bamber, alongside him Barrett, won't leave him. Bit of a collision there, 1 or 2 bodies down at the moment. Wilcox is hobbling, but Oldham it is coming forward in a blue stream. And they found Henry, edge of the area, back to Redfern. Redfern left foot, he scored! Neil Redfern, it's 2-2 here, and Redfern, with his 3rd goal in 4 games, has got a vital goal for the 2nd division leaders. They were 2 down only 5 minutes ago. Henry, who got the first goal, instrumental in the build-up to the second. It was a pot shot from Redford. It really could have gone anywhere. It looped over Hesford, and in it went. And the final whistle goes. So although Andy Payton got a goal in the opening seconds of the second half to take Hull 2 goals clear, Oldham's character has been good, and they've come back to get a point here with goals from Nick Henry, and then 5 minutes from time from Neil Redfern, a speculative shot that was good enough to beat Ian Hesford, and it's given Oldham a valuable point and maintained their unbeaten record in the league this season. Hull City 2, Oldham Athletic 2, a game that was a real credit to the second division.